Rise and shine, nerds. You're tuned in to the Back Row Morning Show, a Monday through Thursday morning show for LTN Radio and proudly a part of the Love Thy Nerd podcast network. I'm Radio Matt. This show covers a lot of banter-worthy goofiness inspired by current pop culture, as well as a focused topic that spans all 4 shows for the week. This week on the show, for the 3rd week, we will take a look at the brand new social etiquette rules for 2023. What has changed? Do we agree with them? Now, you've likely noticed that Mo isn't here. Mo is currently taking a hiatus, so as we finish out these rules, I'm welcoming a new guest host each week. This week, filling in for Mo is a man who has been following the show since long before we joined LTN. Since then, this man has been ready and willing to help any chance he can. He is one of LTN's moderators. He leads a Community Among Us night every Monday in the LTN Discord, and he is one of the most welcoming nerds in the community. You'll meet no nerd who doesn't love this man, the Oriole Jedi himself, Bryan Falk. Bryan, welcome to the show.
Yeah. Thank you.
How are
Glad
you doing
to be here.
morning? Doing good?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
You ready
Excited
to have some fun?
be here.
Yeah, all right. Well, let's. This week and over several weeks, Willie, we're going over the new 2023 Etiquette Guide as published by the New York Magazine. We are going over 194 rules in 7 different sections, and we're going to read each of these rules in full and then decide if we agree or not. Today, we will begin going over new etiquette rules for life in the city. Now, this section is a lot smaller than most, but in order to follow the format that we've been doing for all of these, we're still splitting them up into 2 days. So this segment and tomorrow's segment might be a lot shorter than they have been. So we'll drag it out as best as we can. We're going through rules 106 through 109. So just 4 rules today.
Well, that's why we started talking about Marvel earlier.
Right, yeah.
The
show's already much longer than it normally is, so we're good.
Yeah.
All right, rule number 106. If you are a fast walker and the person in front of you on the sidewalk is walking slowly, do not walk directly behind them for blocks on end. Just sidestep into the street and go around them.
I thought that was normal. I thought that's what everybody did.
It's just like a tailgater, man. Like I felt that in Albuquerque even all the time. It's like there are people that really want to get to where they're going, but they can't stay on the sidewalk and do that because, you know, your party or whatever is stretching across the whole thing. So
yeah,
they just walk behind you, but like they're tailgating you, just like they're almost
right.
touching your heels. And I'm like, just back up. Think you're gonna steal my wallet or something. Just chill out. Just, it's okay when it's, you know, when it's safe, when there's no traffic, or if there's a parking lane there, just hop out in the street, pop around them and go. I'm not going to be mad at you. I'm not going to feel like you're cutting me off. You just got someplace to be. I understand, but don't make me feel like I have to walk at a brisk pace too, just for your sake. Go around.
Exactly. That's the worst is when you feel like you have to speed up your walking because of the person behind you.
So pressured, yeah. Go. Or then you can hear them muttering under their breath. Walk faster.
Yep.
I gotta get that first serving at Chick-fil-A. 107. Treat subway cars like and buses like church pews. Sit or stand as far in as possible so no one has to climb over you. Don't cluster by the door. Don't sit in an aisle seat and leave the empty window seat next to you. Everyone will get in and out faster. I don't think we've mastered this at churches.
Yeah, I mean,
I come here early so I can get the side on the aisle so we can leave faster.
Right.
I am not moving in. I know there have been several times at church where it's like, hey, we got a lot of people coming in. It's like Easter or whatever. Can you all just get up and move towards the center? And like 2 people will do it.
Right.
I'm like, wow, you just ignored a request from the pastor in church on Sunday morning. How arrogant.
But like on the subway, on the light rail, I would always sit by the if I would sit on the aisle, but if someone was coming in, just so I could have more leg room, but because I'm a tall guy.
Sure.
But if there's a bunch of people coming on, I'm going to slide over to the window just to make it easier.
Yeah, if it's getting crowded, like if it's
Yeah.
not a crowded bus or whatever, then sure, yeah, spread out, lie down if you want. But but if a lot of people are coming in, yeah, get out the way. Just it's courtesy, man. It's normal courtesy.
Exactly.
I understand that you want the perfect seat, but we all got to get on this bus. Yeah, I get it. I took the bus for a while when we lived in Albuquerque because for a time we only had one car and my wife used it. So when I take the bus, most of the time it would be empty enough that I could just spread out and sit wherever I wanted. But occasionally it would get full. Yeah. And yeah, you do what you got to do. Everybody's got to do it. It's just be nice. Be nice to people.
Yep.
All right, number 108. This one has a story with it. Don't try to help a stranger parallel park. Nothing strips you down to your bare humanity like having to parallel park. A successful parallel parking job requires the motor skills and depth perception of a professional athlete, along with the kind of intuition that guides a migratory bird back home in the spring. It feels like a test by God and by everyone else in the line of cars impatiently waiting behind you. People should be allowed the grace to park alone without being perceived. If you are walking down the street and see that a stranger is parallel parking, avert your eyes. What if they need my help, you ask? You are allowed to help only if you are directly and explicitly asked by the driver to help. Otherwise, keep walking. It's what's best for everybody. This reminds me of the food situation that we were talking about. It's like, I don't want you to look at me while I'm eating. Don't look at me while I'm eating. And this is another one of those situations where like, I'm so embarrassed to be doing this right now. Just please. Yeah. I know I'm doing horrible, but I'll eventually get there. Just let me do it on my own. Just don't talk to me. Don't look at me. Ignore me. I'll get there. Wherever you're late for behind me, you'll eventually arrive. Just chill out.
Yep. It's like when a kid is trying to do something, they want to do it on their own, and like you want to jump in and help them, like because you know it'll be so much easier. But it's like nope, because then they get mad at you. And but I don't think I've ever felt the need to help a stranger parallel park. Like when I see them parallel parking, it's like okay, no big deal. They're parallel parking. I just go about my day. It's not like oh, I have to watch them parallel park.
Yeah, it's I mean, I don't know. Some people could get some fascination out of it because we know that most people are bad at it. It's like, oh, this guy's going to try.
Yeah.
Let's see how many times it's going to take him.
Yeah.
And I guess that's fine if you're in the restaurant across the street with a tinted window and they can't see you watching them. Then it's fine. But
if you're just walking along the sidewalk and you just stop completely like, oh, let me watch this guy parallel park.
Well, I was going to work, but now I have entertainment.
Yes.
Real quick before we move on to the next one, Trombone Dalek is asking a question. She's asking, back to our 106 option, genuine question, how close are you allowed to get before it gets awkward? And she meant like walking on the sidewalk. So with the first one, how close are you allowed to get to the person in front of you before it gets awkward? And I think the same rule with cars. Like with cars, it's supposed to be 6 car lengths, right? Right. I think 6 people lengths, 6 persons ahead of you. So like imagine yourself standing in a line and there are 5 people between you and the person in front of you. I think that's a good buffer where the person in front of you is not going to feel like you're on their tail the whole time.
Yeah. And I think if you're in a crowd, at least 1 arm length. If you're in a crowd where there's...
If you're in a crowd and you don't know them. Yeah.
Right. If you're in a crowd and you don't know the people and you can't be that 6 people length in between you, I think an arm length is valid.
Now, occasionally there's going to be big crowds, like you're all coming out of a movie theater or a concert or a basketball game or whatever. At that point, you're probably all going to be touching all over anyway. At that point, it's just grit and bear it. And bear it until the opening is free enough to where you can spread out.
Exactly.
Just live with the bottleneck.
Right. There's going to be times where there's going to be that bottleneck, but if you can do it, then I think 1 arm length is valid. But if you're on the sidewalk and you're not in a big old crowd, six people length.
All right, Yo Soy You, I think talking about the parallel park thing or the don't look at me thing is saying I can relate, but mostly when it comes to house cleaning and studying. So you don't want people to look at you for that. You know what? I just don't want anyone looking at me ever. Just don't ever look at me. Everything that I'm doing is personal. Unless I'm on a stage, don't be perceiving me.
Except if you're on camera doing
I consider this a stage.
recording.
This is a stage.
Now you can watch
look at me here. But yeah, I have the ability to go off camera if I need to.
Yeah.
Pick my nose or whatever. All right. What did we say we were going to? 109?
109.
109.
Yeah.
Okay, so our last one here. Gossip as if the person were just 12 feet from you, especially in New York, where they likely are, or their friend likely is. Someone that they know likely is.
I mean, or just don't gossip about people.
I guess that's kind of what this is saying. This is kind of what this is saying. Gossip as if they were just 12 feet from you.
Yeah.
It's either saying be really quiet when you gossip into the ear of the person next to you because the other person is right there. Or maybe just don't gossip. Maybe assume that everybody who's listening knows that person and would be offended by it. Or that it'll get back to them.
I mean, it kind of goes back to the whole thing at work where you don't want to gossip about if the three things that you see. I mean, it goes for normal life. Oh, did you see Jen was crying the other day? Like, what do you think she was crying about? What do you think that Brad did to her?
Mm-hmm.
Or
it's not healthy. There's one person I think on the planet you're allowed to gossip with. And that is your spouse, because you're one brain anyway at this point. And you need a safe place to get all this kind of garbage off your chest. So I feel like that's a safe conversation. But beyond that, no.
Right.
KY says, don't say anything behind someone's back you wouldn't say to their face. Exactly. Real friends stab you in the face, not the back.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I do on wellness nights. I just come up in front of you.
That's one of my favorite lyrics from a Super Chick song ever. True friends stab you in the face. We only have like 3 to talk about today, so we'll try and extend this as much as we can, but I'm pretty sure I chose a relatively long flashback for the first segment to make this episode reach its length in case this one is going to be short. So let's dive in with number 110. Saw someone shoplift? No, you didn't. That's the rule.
Yeah.
It says ditto for jumping the turnstile in the subway.
Yeah, I don't agree with this one. Like, you need to at least alert the employees. I mean,
I'm up in the air on this one because
I'm not gonna confront them.
Yeah.
But
I'm
gonna at least let the employees know. I mean,
yeah, maybe. Yeah. I guess in most cases, yeah. I'd probably be like, that person has a whole turkey in their pants.
Right.
But I don't know. Maybe not as a rule, I guess, but I'm not sure I would have the gumption to say anything if I saw someone. I'd be like, well, they're doing that, and then I just move on. I don't know if I would be like, I must save the store, the loss of this thing. I think most people have the idea of like, stores have insurance for things like this anyway, kind of thing. That doesn't make it right at all, but I think it does make me that knowledge does make me lackadaisical in reporting it if I see it.
Yeah, I might not go out of my way to say something to an employee, but if I happen to see one like close by, like, hey, this person I think might be shoplifting.
Sure.
So, but
and I think my mindset is also different about like big chain stores as opposed to like small mom and pop shops or things like that.
Right.
I think if it was something more like that likely doesn't have insurance for that kind of thing, whatever, I'd be more than willing like, hey, don't do that. Guys, this person.
Yeah. Right.
Just stuff the whole dress in her purse. Can you? A whole butt dress right in her purse. Yeah. But then let's move on to jumping the turnstile. I wouldn't say anything.
Yeah. No.
I've watched videos of transit cops watch people jump the turnstile and just let them walk on. I'm like, you don't really care. So,
exactly.
You're probably not going to chase them down. I'll just whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So funny story, actually. A couple weeks ago, was at Denny's with my parents and my grandmother, and we're sitting there, we're enjoying our meal, and there were a group of like 4 older teenagers, young 20s kind of age group, and they had a whole bunch of food, and then all of a sudden just see them start to get up and they bolt for the door. And they dined and dashed. The funny part was, though, so after we see him run, and of course it was very slow, it was only like one server at the Denny's. Yeah. And she's like, yeah, oh well, like they left like $4 on the table, like to make it look like they were leaving a tip and things like that. Well, one guy, all of a sudden we see one guy kind of try to sneak back in because he left his cell phone in the booth. Oh. And he grabs it, and the lady's like, hey, you. Like, she can't do anything.
Right.
But,
you can't, like, grab him.
And, yeah. And then he walks out and then runs away again. But it's like, really? Like,
imagine being that guy when you successfully dine and dash and like, oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no. My $500 cell phone, $1,000 cell phone is sitting in that booth right now. Oh, gosh.
Yeah. And especially, oh, wait a second, they'll probably be able to figure out who I was. And
oh, yep, that's sad. That's a bummer. I've never done that, and I've never seen anybody done that. I really thought it only happened in TV shows and movies. But
that was the first time I'd ever seen that happen in person, and I'm just like, wow, that was bold.
The unmitigated gall that you have. All right, number 111. It is, okay, this is real New York right here. This is real New York and real Hollywood, so just bear with me. Okay, I think this will also work anywhere. Okay, just stand with me here. It's perfectly fine to walk through someone's scene, whether it's Martin Scorsese or someone filming an outfit of the day TikTok. They don't own the sidewalk.
Yeah, especially if it's a TikTok. Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna go out of my way to avoid your stage. Because now obviously Martin Scorsese, they're gonna have things blocked off and everything like that. But someone filming a TikTok,
I think there are at least a section of online influencers, that's the word I'm looking for. A section of influencers who think that because they're influencers, they have the clout of actual Hollywood producers. One of my favorite videos that I've seen recently, I think, is from a British influencer who was doing some sort of exercise of the day thing. And she was going to sit there and do this full live stream in the park in front of this bench. And this guy just comes and sits down. And she makes a big deal about him being in a shot. And he goes, I sit in this bench every day and eat my lunch or whatever. And I'm not going to change it because you want to do your weird TikTok thing. If you want to do that and not have me in it, move to the next bench. Yeah. And they just have this weird conversation back and forth where they're both like, he also is kind of a jerk in it, but I mean, they're both just they're very entitled about this bench and who owns it. And like, neither of you own it. Right. The difference was he was fine if she wanted to keep doing it right there with him in the shot. Yeah. So like he was going to deal with her being there while he ate his lunch at his favorite bench. But it's like, yeah, you don't, unless you get a permit and are able to block it off, you don't own the rights to that area in a public place. So
exactly.
Yeah. All right. Last one here for today, 112. Ask how much ask how much everyone pays in rent. It's not a big deal. Rent is expensive, sometimes impossibly so. Median rents hit unpredictable highs in 2022, and a slow come down for the summer peak has done little to improve things. It's quite right. It's the kind of market. Talking about what we pay to live isn't rude. It's more like asking someone how they managed to survive a bear attack. The question is an invitation to share facts of tremendous strength, rare cunning, or an inheritance. Where did you find it? How long have you been there? How have you have you requested your rental history? Exciting personal revelations, considerations of value, and ruminations of existence may follow. What makes for a good place, a good life? I pay $1,100 for a one-bedroom apartment, but it faces into a courtyard, and it's dark after 2 p.m. every day. My mother pays my rent, and she visits unannounced. No one is cashing my rent checks. I think my landlord is dead. To speak plainly about rent rejects a baseless taboo about money. It's also fun. I'll tell you my rent. You tell me yours. We react with awe, horror, or both. And what's the worst that could happen? Someone won't tell you. You'll just look them up on Street Easy later. I've never really gotten the idea that it's taboo to ask about, what you pay in rent or mortgage, or even what you make at work. Like, yeah, I get that. Yes, that can be a private thing, and if you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. But why is it rude for me to inquire? Like, what do you make at this job? Why is that a problem to ask? Maybe I would like to try and work up to that, and I want to be curious if it's worth it. Exactly. If I'm only going to be making 50 more cents an hour, maybe I don't want to put in the 3 years of college courses that I need to take to get your job. But I mean, I feel like at least in the workplace, talking about what you make also kind of keeps the employers honest. You know what I mean? Exactly. My wife found out once that she had worked when she used to work for Lowe's, and she was really good. So good that she kept raising in like the inner corporate workings of that store. And she had one of the people working underneath her who had just been hired by the store. And she came to find out, because the person was talking about it, that when she got hired here, she got hired making more money than my wife made then. Wow. One level above her. And that, because that was voiced, that was able to be fixed. Because that wasn't, there's no professional cashiers, it's not like, so I don't know why this person got so much money, and I don't know if we still don't really know why they were hired that much, if it was like an inside thing, because they knew the person or whatever. Like, come on, we'll hire you and I'll give you a good salary. But like, that's the kind of stuff that happens when you keep salaries a secret. Is the people that are paying the people can do underhanded things that shouldn't be done, and the people that should be making more and deserve to be making more don't know that they're one of the lowest paid people or whatever. They assume everybody who's underneath them makes less than them, because they work so hard to get there. Yeah.
So it's kind of funny. I saw a video. I think it was TikTok on a TikTok where someone was like, I was looking on Indeed or whatever on one of those job searching websites, and saw that her company was hiring for another person in the same position as her, same requirements and everything like that, and the salary was like $10,000 a year more than what she was making. So she said, I'll just apply for that one. I mean, it's the same job. I'll put an application in and see what happens.
I know how to do all that. I'm qualified for that. Yeah. It's really kind of crazy. So with rent, though, I guess speaking here, rent is not the same in that regard, unless you're living in the same building and you have the same floor plan, and somehow you're paying $300 more than the other person. But I do agree, like, here it's really just comparing the thing that we all hate. It's like shared misery loves company. And misery even loves jealousy a little bit. Like, oh man, you got this amazing place for that little, I pay twice as much for half this floor plan. Like,
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, it makes us sad, but it's also like, wow, that's such a really good deal.
Yeah.
That you got here. It's an all kind of situation. And vice versa. You find someone else who's just gotten a terrible deal. I'm like, oh man, that hurts. Find someplace else. Because this is not right. This is not good. How are you going to know you don't have it right unless people can tell you?
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's really it. I know it's short for this one, but that's the it. That's all of it on the city stuff.